there a different mentality going into a Big Ten game versus another?
I don't think so, honestly. I think, we prepare for each opponent individually, and, every game on your list or every game on your schedule is one win or one loss. And so each one of them is as important as the next. And so our main focus is our next game, and obviously right now that's Purdue.
Coach was saying that part of the attraction to bringing you back onto the basketball court was your athletic mentality, your leadership skills, your experience. How much do you take pride and value that as far as gelling with a young team?
Yeah, I think when we talked, Coach really loved my competitive edge. I think that's something we both clicked on. I loved his edge, and obviously the ability to play at the Big Ten level and use that edge was something that was really appealing to me. Having a young group, and being able to kind of make an impact right away was something that was really important to me. And so, so far I feel like we're on the right track. We have a long way to go, but everything's kind of clicking so far.
Coach kind of smiled when he was talking about the impact that you've been able to have, because he just wasn't sure that was going to be proven right off the bat.
Yeah.
Was that a surprise to you as well, or was that a goal of yours?
I was pretty confident coming in. I did my research on schools and where I felt like I could really make an immediate impact. And, I kept my hand in basketball for a long time, so I wasn't surprised as far as like where my level of play was at. I knew what I was capable of doing, but, the biggest part for me was gaining the trust of my teammates and coaches and really being able to showcase that, on the game platform.
On a young team, do you lead by example? Are you vocal, or do you not consider yourself a leader?
No, I'm more of a leader by example. Vocally, I use my voice when I feel like it needs to be used. But my whole philosophy has always been lead by example. But I think there are times, obviously, when the vocal leadership is necessary, and I'm not afraid to step in when that time comes.
What are you seeing from Purdue? How are you preparing for them in a hostile environment?
Yeah, I mean, we watched the game last night against Virginia, and they played a heck of a game. They have a lot of different pieces, a lot of guys that do certain things really well, and so no particular scout yet. Today we'll get into that with Coach, and obviously going to be ready to go once the game comes.
You had a big breakout performance at the Fort Myers tip-off tournament. You had two really good games. Can you just talk about what that meant to you and what that felt like?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. I thought, the first game against Bradley, we had a really good team win overall. A bunch of guys played really well. Pitt, unfortunately, we couldn't get it done, had some timely mistakes, but from a personal level, it felt good. Your confidence goes up, and I felt like I could do that all along. It was just honestly just finding ways to do it within the flow of the offense and doing it from a leadership standpoint. And so, moving forward, BC wasn't my best game, but again, we have a lot of different pieces that can step up on any given night. And so I think that's the best part about this team is, I was able to showcase it a couple games. Last game, Boo and Miller had great games, and so we got a lot of different weapons. I think that's what we're going to roll with going forward.
How did you train differently coming into, obviously you switched across to basketball, kind of like what sport you're playing right now, and how did you train, how did you prepare yourself to play a different sport now in college like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the training all kind of took care of itself. I got in here basically right after the season was over. So training was really just getting the work in this summer with these guys. Lacrosse was in the spring, and so I didn't really have a whole off-season transition. I really came in right to the summer and got right to work with these guys. So, conditioning was a little bit different. Changed my body a little bit, lost a few pounds, but good weight to lose. And so, overall I feel pretty good about where I'm at with my body.
Against Bradley, can you just describe, really getting into the rhythm, how you're able to do it?
Yeah, I just think, we had a game plan, and the way they were playing it, they were kind of giving us a little bit of freedom on the pick and rolls. Their bigs were hanging back, and so it allowed me to kind of play a little bit of ISO within that game, and then a little bit of kind of utilizing the fact that their big man was not as great in the pick and roll game to our advantage as well. And so just opened the floor up for us and just tried to take advantage of what we had.
So it's like he was dropping back and then you pulled up and then he came up and then you drew past him. Were you making those reads?
Yeah, it was just a bunch of different reads, but we felt like we had a pretty good advantage in the pick and roll game on them, and we kind of went to that time and time again, and fortunately it worked.
And then against Pitt, they doubled you, they tried whatever they could to take you out.
Yeah.
First of all, that hasn't happened for you for a while. What was it like seeing that coverage?
At first it's pretty frustrating because you want to be able to have an impact on the game, but at the same time you got to have trust in your teammates and their ability to make plays when you're taken out of the game. And so like I said, we have enough pieces to really make this thing work. Last game, I was kind of a non-factor. I didn't have a great game, and we still had enough guys step up to make enough plays. And I think that's the kind of team we have. So, yeah.
Can you just describe what happened against Boston College, how you weren't able to get it going?
Yeah, I just couldn't get out of one of those games. Everyone has those games where you can't get out of your own way. I felt like I still impacted the game in other ways. I just, unfortunately, just had a couple turnovers that I want back, and then, a couple shots didn't fall. So, just kind of the balance that night. Like I said, other guys, Boo had a hell of a game. Miller played lights out. So, we have plenty of capable scorers. It's nice that it's not going to be, heavily relying on me every night.
What did you see from Boo and how he was able to step into that role?
Yeah, I mean, he's just got confidence. I think that's why I love playing with him, and he's just got that swagger to him, and that's something that we kind of bond on. We both have that inner confidence, and so I've been telling him all along, just play your game, man. He's very capable as a scorer, very capable as a guy who can create offense for this team, and so I love his game. I just want to see him continue to grow, and obviously that'll continue to happen. He's got a long career ahead of him.
A month into the season, what do you think you've improved on the most?
I think probably gaining the trust of my teammates and the coaching staff, and I think that's a big part for me as an individual who's going to be at the top of the key with the ball, leading the offense. You want to have the confidence and the trust of those guys, and so I feel like those relationships have really developed, and that's critical for me.
And then lastly, just how you feeling heading into Big Ten play?
I think we're fired up. I think we're on a good track here. We started off a little slow, but we're a new team. We got a lot of new pieces, and so we knew we were going to have some struggles early on. Obviously, would like a couple of those back, but we're not going to hang our head on those. We're pretty confident where we're at as a team. Like I said, we have a lot of different pieces that can really contribute, and so we're just going to move forward and take that with us. We're fired up.